Thanks for coming. Let me just click on this button real quick. Blocked right by my camera. There we go. And one more. Got it. Okay. And let me adjust this. And I think we're just about ready to go. So if you have the all-in-one kit, you have a wood burning tool, and you have a slice of practice wood, and you have some of the other things that came in the all-in-one wood burning kit. If you have a kit and if you're going to burn along with me, let me know in the chat. I'll be happy to slow down or pause if you are trying to keep up with me in real time. If not, as I hope you know, this is being recorded and it will be posted onto our YouTube channel tomorrow or the day after, and we will send you that link also. So if you have your wood burning tool, now is the time to turn it on. So not only do you have to plug the wood burning tool in, but you also have to make sure that the flip has been flipped, the switch has been flipped to on. And it usually takes about 1 or 2 minutes for that to heat up. So while I'm kind of talking and getting started, I'm going to go ahead and let that heat up. Today, I'm going to be burning something that looks like this with a pattern that says joy. Now, if you were coming here hoping for the feather, don't worry, the feather is still available, the hope feather. So we just dropped in the chat a link where you can go to a Google Drive that has the hope template. It has one that I burned on the last class I taught, which is grateful and blessed. So if that's more of the message you're going for, if you're doing a more Thanksgiving piece, but today I'm going to be burning this joy piece. There are videos that you can watch the grateful and blessed class, or you can watch the hope feather class if you're interested specifically in those. But if you're just trying to learn how to wood burn, this is the right place. I'm going to show you some things about how to use the tool. And feel free to put some things in chat if you have questions for me, or if you need me to slow down or repeat something, I'd be happy to do it. So if you have a template, you might want to print it out again while we're kind of getting started. If you want to just freehand something on your slice of wood, that is just fine too. So Carrie, if you don't mind going to my hands cam next. Thank you. And I'll make sure that you all can see this. So let me flip it. Hello, welcome to my house. Okay. And one more turn, and there we go. So you are streaming with me live from my kitchen. And my kitchen luckily has a really high ceiling. I don't need audio. I just want to make sure this is going. There we go. So I have a really high ceiling in my kitchen, and I also have a fan going. So wood burning can be smelly. It can give off some smoke. It could possibly set off your smoke alarm if you are inside, so be careful with that. The first tip that I'm going to start with is a round tip that is called the flow tip. There are several different tips, and we'll talk about each one of those. And we're going to do a little bit of practice before we get into our actual project. So you still have time to print off a template if you want to. There's templates in the chat. You also received an email that has the joy template that just got sent out today. So in the all-in-one wood burning kit, it comes with a piece of wood that's like a practice burn piece. I've already used mine like 5 times. So I just have a little scrap of wood that I'm going to try with. And like I was saying, there's different tips. And the one that I'm starting with right now is called the flow tip. And it is the best for lots of different kinds of wood surfaces. So you hold the wood burning tool just like you would a pen or a pencil. Of course, you don't want to touch anything that's metal because it will burn you, I promise. So the first thing you want to do when using your tool is kind of practice making dots. So you're just going to hold the pen on your wood and let it burn a dot. The longer you leave your wood burning tool on the wood, the darker the dot is going to be. Sometimes the bigger the dot is going to be. If you just do a real gentle, light touch, you're going to get a really small, light dot. So the longer you leave it on, the more you're going to burn, the more smoke is going to fill up your room. So just practice giving yourself a couple of dots. Make sure if your tool isn't working, make sure that you have it flipped on the actual switch and that you let it heat up for at least a minute or two to give you a good, nice burn. Now, after you feel a little bit comfortable with some different size dots and some different dots on your practice wood, the next thing we're going to do is try to draw a line. So when you're trying to draw a line with your wood burning tool, the key is slow and steady and just a real consistent pace. So I made a pretty decent line just then, but if you have a line that has different, see how it's a little darker here and a little lighter over here, and that's just because I paused or I hesitated a little too much. So if you stop in the middle of your line, you're going to be burning a darker dot, like what the dots we were doing at the beginning. So if you're starting your line, you want to just go for it and just commit to it and keep going slow and steady. And as soon as you're done, don't hesitate at the end to pull up the wood burning tool also. If you let it linger at the end, like, oh, I'm done, I'm just going to let it sit here, it's going to burn a darker hole right there at the end. So try to make some slow, consistent lines and see if you can start getting the hang of it. We are using the flow tip right now. If you have some questions or if you need some help, just shout out in the chat and I'll be happy to help you. After you've made a couple of nice straight lines and you think you're getting kind of consistent with that, I'm going to try to do some squiggly lines. So maybe some curves. And again, the universal or the flow tip that we're using is really helpful for all kinds of lines. And if you get a portion of your line that's darker than the other, you can always go back and make the rest of the line darker too in order to match it up. Carrie, can you help Shelly to know how to be able to see my hands better? So I'm just practicing some more squiggle lines. I think it's the view button in the top right-hand corner, Shelly. And if you hit view and speaker, you should be able to see just my hands. So I made a squiggle. I'm going to try and make a circle too while I'm at it. Just to try some different things and watch how you can do different shapes with this tool. Oh, Hannah from Walnut Hollow, welcome. Yay. So I love this wood burning tool, and the one that I have comes with these different tips. So I do want to tell you a little bit about these different tips also. So this tip right here is more of like a calligraphy kind of point. And this is the one that I call, that is called the universal tip. And it has really good, sharp, straight lines. You could also use it on its side to get some depth. There's also a tip called the cone tip. And the cone tip is great for tiny details because you can see how fine that is compared to the flow tip that we're using right now. And then we also have the shading tip, and it kind of looks like a petal or like a flower. And the way that you change these is using a pair of pliers. You never want to do it with your hands because obviously it's hot. So I can go ahead, even while it's plugged in, and twist this tip off. And I can replace it with another one of the tips. Now you don't have to do this yourself if you don't want to. I just want to show you what some of the other tips can do. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my pliers in order to screw this different tip on. And I just screwed on the shading tip, which looks like a lovely little petal. This is great for like flowers. It's also great for feathers on birds and things like that. So Mia, my particular wood burning tool doesn't have a temperature setting on it. If you have a fancier one, it does. And I'm not sure, honestly, what temperature you should have that set at. So maybe if the Walnut Hollow person is still here, they might be able to help you with that. So this is me using my shading point and kind of almost like a branding tool. I'm just holding it down and letting the tool do the work and getting some nice, cool shapes from that shading tool. Almost like a heart shape or a leaf shape. The pressure that I'm using is probably medium pressure. I'm not pressing super hard and I'm not just lightly touching it. It's something in the middle. And I'm going back and forth with my tool in order to get the whole entire shape, because I was just doing one side of it because I was pressing too hard on one of the sides. So it looks like in the chat, they're saying that you should turn it all the way up. If it's too hot, you can turn it back down, but this is good practice. All right, so I feel pretty good about this. I'm gonna put my flow tip back in, and I'm gonna use the flow tip in the project. So if you have a template, now is the time to get your template. And if you have the all-in-one wood burning kit, we also gave you a piece of graphite paper or transfer paper, which is gonna help you transfer this template onto your wood slice. So we're gonna start the project now that we've done a little bit of practice with our tool. I don't know if you can see, maybe I'll move a little bit, but I like to keep my wood burning tool. I like to take the holder so that it doesn't move, and so that I make sure that that's not gonna come off the table and burn my lap. I'm not saying I experienced that. I'm just saying that you should be really careful because this is a wood burning tool, so it will burn. All right, I have this slice. My slice is probably a little larger than the one that came in, but I just wanted to make sure everybody could see it. So this is my slice. I'm not even mad about the fact that it has a little knot in it or that has a little color, because it's wood and I think it should look like wood. Otherwise, I would have just gotten a plain surface. But a wood slice is going to look like wood. So if yours has a couple knots in it, we can work with that. Now I'm going to be using the word joy. And notice how my wood slice has this nice ring to it. I'm going to try and match up my O as best I can with that ring, just to kind of go with it. So if you have a piece of graphite paper from your kit, or if you happen to have one, there's one side that's darker than the other. And so you're going to put the darkest side towards your wood slice, and you're going to put the lighter side towards you. And then, like I said, I'm going to try and line this up so that the O kind of matches up with my ring. And I make sure that the word actually fits on my wooden slice. And then I highly recommend a little piece of tape to keep your template in place so that it doesn't move around while you're doing this. I see some of you burning along with me, and that's awesome. I can't wait to see what you're doing. If anybody, if this is their first time, I'd love for you to tell me in chat if this is your first time ever wood burning. I'd love to know that. So I put a couple pieces of tape down, and I was able to put it on my slice. And now you can use a pen, pencil. Yay, Shelly, first time. Ooh, yeah, thank you, welcome. Mia's first time. Ooh, we have a lot of first time wood burners. How fun. Yes, the dark side goes towards the wood and the light side is coming up towards you. I put some tape down, and now I'm ready to trace it just with a pencil. So this is graphite paper, which means it's going to transfer some pencil lines. If you don't have graphite paper, a handy little trick of the trade is to shade a bunch of pencil lines on the back, and then you can flip it over and try and transfer it that way too if you don't happen to have that. Lots of first timers. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm going to trace the outline. I'm just going to outline the whole entire word joy. And it doesn't need to be a very hard transfer. It doesn't take much pressure to put it onto your wood slice. I'm going to do the whole entire outline first. And I got this pattern from Michael's design library. And I don't know if you know about this design library, but it is awesome and it is free. So we'll put the design library website in the chat for you. And if you don't like the joy, there's lots of other choices. I found some really great ones, like if you want something like Happy Holidays, or maybe you want to do a reindeer, there's all kinds of things at the Michael Design Library. They're all free. They're SVG files, so if you happen to own a Cricut or a Silhouette, you could also cut them and put them onto shirts, but for us, they're perfect for wood burning. So I'm using this joy pattern, but the hope feather and also the grateful and blessed pattern are available in the folder for this class too. So I did the outline of all three of the letters, and I am going to go back in and do the design too. So our finished product, I'm going to leave the letters blank and I'm going to fill in the design with the Woodburn. So it's kind of like the reverse of what this pattern is. I'm going to leave the black space blank and I'm going to actually do this design. So now I'm going back in with my pencil and I'm going to go through and trace this. And I'm not even going to worry too much about the detail of the leaves because I'm going to burn that whole leaf solid. So you don't need to put the little extra line in the leaf if you don't want to. And this doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to give you a good guide of where these things should go so that when you are burning, you have a good idea of where to place all the leaves and all the little berries. I'm also going to go ahead and make this star down here. And trace that. And go through each of the letters and add our extra designs. I love these wood burning pieces with the big slice of wood. I think they're pretty impressive. And it would be a nice table decoration if you're setting a Thanksgiving table or a holiday table. It would be a lovely little thing to include. And I was saying in our Grateful and Blessed class too, that if you have this giant wood slice that says Grateful and Blessed, you can take the cone tip and let people actually sign the piece of wood or use a Sharpie and sign it. So maybe it can become like a memory of who all was with you for Thanksgiving that year, or who all was with you for Christmas or whatever holiday you might be celebrating. So it just makes a nice little keepsake. I got one more letter to fill in, and I hope that you're all doing okay. Oops, my pencil lid. So I guess I didn't really tell you a lot about myself before we started, but my name's Megan, obviously, and I work at Michael's. I've been working at Michael's for over a year now, and I'm a content designer for in-store classes. So in about 50 of our Michael's stores right now, we have in-store classes with instructors that teach watercolor, knitting, wood burning, acrylic painting, wreath making, all sorts of fun classes. So I'm the person who's coming up with those classes, and then we have instructors in those stores that are teaching the classes. So I have all of those letters done, and I'm just going to peek, and sure enough, I did a pretty good job with my transfer. Peek before you pull it all the way off, just in case you missed something. Go ahead for your grand reveal and show your work. Now, don't worry if you feel like there's blank space, because there's always ways to add extra design around there. I have my flow tip. It's hot, it's ready to go. I had turned on my wood burning tool. I sometimes like to hold with my left hand. I'm right-handed. I sometimes like to hold the cord so that it doesn't pull it down and kind of mess with me while I'm going. So my first pass through my wooden slice project is I'm just going to go outline all three of those letters. So slow and steady, just a consistent burn. And you might notice that your wood slice might be a little different than your practice piece based on what kind of wood it is. And we're lucky to have a really nice smooth piece of wood that came in the wood burning kit. where it doesn't have a lot of ridges and it's not really going to be too bumpy for us, which is a nice piece of wood to start with. So I'm going through and doing the total outline, and it looks like several of you are burning with me, which is really fun. So I have one of my letters outlined, and I'm going to keep going and just focus on the outline for now. If you have some spots that are lighter and some spots that are darker, you can go back over almost like markers and just keep going over it until it gets a little darker like the other part. Slow and steady. And if it is bumpy or it is a little dotty, that's okay, we can fix it. I'm just doing one line to outline all three letters first. And if it's not perfect, it's okay, because we can go back and we can keep working on fixing it. So I'm really letting the tool do the work for me. It's hot, it's ready to go, so it's just kind of melting all over this picture and just doing its job. It's burning as I'm moving it. I don't have to work very hard to make it happen. Now, one of the reasons why I like wood burning so much is because I'm not the best at just freehand drawing, especially if it comes to like a realistic kind of drawing. But wood burning to me is like, if you can trace, you can be great at wood burning, and I can definitely trace. So I like that. Agreed. Sometimes it is easier to rotate your piece so that it's not pulling. That's a great tip. The tip that we're currently using is the flow tip. It's a nice round tip. It can easily go over any ridges, and it just gives us a pretty nice outline. This one is the flow tip, and then there is a smaller one called the cone tip, which looks kind of similar, but comes to that cone or that point. So I'm using the thicker one. So I have my joy outlined, and then I can go back through and I'm going to color in the leaves and I'm going to color in the star. So I don't need to worry about the outline. I just want to fill that space in that star-like shape. So don't worry about trying to do the outline and filling in, just fill it in. It's already pretty small, so it should just take one line or so to make that star at the bottom of your J. All right. And then I'm going to go through and make the line for the stem going all the way up, slow and steady. And it ends in a dot, so I can just leave my wood burning tool there for a minute to give us a nice dot. I like the dots, so I'm going to do the next dots too. Just leave the tool there, let it burn a nice circle for you. And then I'm going to go back and fill in the leaves too. I'm not going to worry about the outline, I'm just going to worry about filling in the whole space. So I'm filling in a leaf-like shape. And because it is graphite paper, you can erase just like you would erase a pencil, or you can use a piece of sandpaper and sand it down if you don't like seeing your pencil lines. Here we go. And you're welcome to switch to other tips. If you'd like to try and do the leaf shape with your shading tip, you can do that. Or if you want to be more fine details and use the cone tip, you can switch and use that too. But I really do just like the flow tip. It's my favorite. So another good thing about wood burning is once you learn how to do it, you can do it on any wooden surface. So I have some Woodburn ornaments. So there are these great wood slices at Michael's that you can buy, and you can just, again, use the design library, use a stencil, use whatever you want, and kind of go with it in Woodburn. And they make some really nice gifts. I also have a class right now where you can make a garland. And so this one says Merry for the holidays. So I literally used a stencil to trace the letters and then went back through and wood burned inside of them and added an extra little festive snowflake so that you can hang that across a fireplace or something like that. So there's lots of fun surfaces that you can burn on. Make sure that when you're picking a surface, it does not have any paint or any chemical sealant on it, because obviously if you're burning over paint, you're going to be letting out some fumes that you do not want to breathe. So make sure that it's an untreated piece of wood. It doesn't have any chemicals in it, and it doesn't already have any paint or sealant on it, so that you're not going to hurt yourself. I'm filling in my leaves on my joy. It is bringing me joy. I hope it's bringing you joy. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. If your lines aren't dark anymore, your tool might need another second to heat back up because you're transferring some of the heat into the wood slice. So if it's starting to give you some trouble, you can just set it on the little holder for a minute, take a break, and come back to it, and it'll be nice and hot and ready for you to go again.
Hey Megan, somebody's wondering if it would be okay if the wood piece had a stain on it, one,
Great.
and then if you can go over what tip you're using again.
Sure. So you don't actually want to use anything that already has a stain. So the stain is going to be a chemical that when you burn on it, it's not going to be good for what it releases. So it does need to be totally unfinished and unpainted. And there's a whole aisle at Michael's of unfinished surfaces that you can burn on. And then the tip was the flow point, and I think we got that settled, and it's the thicker round one. In the all-in-one wood burning kit, it comes with paint. And after I finish this, I'm going to show you what you could do with some paint, but I'm also going to give you a couple of other options too, if you want to add color. Now, I like the fact that it's wood and it's kind of rustic and it's kind of natural looking. But if you want to add paint to it, there are ways to do that, or add other color too. So this joy template we're using came from the Michael's design library. And we have a folder of this template, the Grateful and Blessed template, and also the Hopeful Feather template in case you're interested in burning any of those. All right, this is looking pretty good. I'm going to show you one other way you can use color besides the paint. So this is another one of my garlands I was working on. So I did the outline of my letters, and then I just used a Crayola marker. And what's cool with some of this wood is that it almost looks like watercolor because it kind of seeps into the wood slice. So it makes for a really cool color if you want to add color. So if you wanted to color this in with a marker, you absolutely could. If you want to leave it the same, that's fine too. So for the gauge and the temperature, go ahead and put it to the hottest setting. And then if that becomes too hot or it's burning too quickly, you can put it back down. So what I did on my original piece was, once I had my joy in the center, I went around and kind of just freehanded some designs. You can make dots all the way around it and it would look really awesome. You can make some pretend leaves like I did. You can trace other things. So there are pictures on the design library too, of some holly or some poinsettia branches or some, this might even be mistletoe. So if you wanted something, you can make this a smaller size and you can trace more if you don't trust yourself. But I hope you can just trust yourself and let go and see what happens. So I'm going to start by just doing some random dots around the edge. So they don't have to be perfectly spaced. I'm just going to do the best I can and put some dots. And you can kind of see, if you're working with an actual wood slice, you can kind of see a ridge that you can kind of follow and keep it in the same line if you'd like. Doesn't have to be perfect, just go with it. So I'm dropping some dots in different places to start adding some sort of textured border. And you don't have to do the dots. You could do leaves, you could do lines, or you can leave it blank. I am sometimes bad at leaving things blank. I love filling it in with design, and I sometimes can't stop myself. I already kind of like the way that this is going so far. Glad I got my fan going because I'm not setting off any alarms yet. That's good. I'm in the Dallas area and it's actually starting to be cold enough for me to not wood burn outside. It took a while, but we're finally getting to some cold temperatures. So I have some dots all the way around. You can leave it. You can add another row of dots. You can add some lines. You could add some petals or some leaves, kind of like the original inside of your letters. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do some like random lines. So I'm just doing some curves, some up and down lines. I'm not doing the same every time. I'm just kind of doing a little bit sporadic or random. And you can keep adding until you feel comfortable or you like what you have. Someone had mentioned earlier that if you want to turn your piece, that might be a good way for you to be able to reach the spots that you might be struggling to reach. That was a great tip. Kind of making up my own pattern as I go. So for those of you who are making a project right now, you can put it on your social media and you can use the hashtag Make It With Michaels or the hashtag Michaels Classes. And I would love to see what you're burning. I'm very curious. I think wood burning is a really calm, soothing art form. So it's a de-stressor for me. I hope it's not stressing you out. You just got to take your time with it and not rush it. And take some time for yourself to do something fun that you like doing. Feel free to keep going as I'm talking. I want to talk to you about some of your next steps if you want to take them. So in the all-in-one wood burning kit that we have, you get some paints and you get some paintbrushes and some Mod Podge and some different tools that you can use to finish your piece. If it's not staying hot enough to burn, double check that you have the switch on. If you have a switch on your tool, that might be part of the problem. Double check that it's plugged in. It happens, trust me. And maybe let it sit for about a minute or two before you pick it back up and use a practice piece of wood to see if it's hot enough and if it's making your lines. So when I did my hope feather before, I just used the paintbrushes that came in the kit, and I used the colors that came in the kit, and I kind of colored in the things that I had wood burned. And then you can probably tell that this side is my side that doesn't have anything on it. And when I flip it over, this side's a little bit darker on the wood because I did seal it, and you can see kind of that shine on it a little bit. So it's nice and smooth surface because I painted it, I let it dry overnight. I did not touch it until the next day. And then I used the Mod Podge and just went ahead and used the sponge brush. And if you start your Mod Podge and your paint is spreading with the Mod Podge, you need to stop because your paint is not dry enough to seal it. So make sure your paint is good and dry before you try to seal it. The sealant is going to make the wood slice a little bit darker, but it's going to give you a really nice smooth finish. So if you wanted to paint on your joy slice, you could. If you wanted to use a marker and kind of add some color, you could do that too. Oh, I'm going for it. I'm living dangerously right now. I'm going for it. And I'm going to fill this in with just a red Crayola marker. I'm excited. I wasn't sure that I was going to add color, but apparently now I am. Like that. And I think we were talking about before too, like this could be a nice slice where you can let people take Sharpies and you can let people sign it, or you can add some things that bring you joy or things that you are thankful for. That would be awesome. Here we go. And so if you don't want to paint it, you can still put a coat of Mod Podge on it to seal it. There is Mod Podge that goes for outdoors. So if you're interested in like hanging it on a front porch or somewhere where there might be a little bit of rain or there might be a little bit of sun, you might want to use the exterior outside Mod Podge. But if you just want something with a nice little shine, the one that came in the kit works perfect. And then the way that I like to finish them, or what I recommend, is these command strips. If you have like the Velcro command strips, it's really easy to just put a piece of the Velcro on the back of your wood slice and one on your wall and stick it to your wall using those Velcro pieces. And then they're removable because the 3M is nice and doesn't stick. Another thing you can do is if you have some kind of hanging set, you can screw some of the little, I don't have any idea what those are called. What are those called? Like hoop things? You can screw those in and attach a piece of wire and hang it. Someone in one of my last classes said, like, maybe you make a sign that says like kitchen is open, or, and on the other side it says kitchen is closed, and you can flip it back and forth. And if you're a mom in the summertime, the kitchen is always closed. Get your own snack. I mean, something else nicer. So I'm finishing off with my marker, just kind of making my letters bold and stand out. If you're using your paints, make sure that you let your paints dry for quite a bit before you seal them. And you don't have to seal anything if you don't want to. It's fine to just leave it pure wood. For a more rustic look, that is absolutely okay. And you can use it to sit it on a table. There's also like those wire easels are really nice to prop it up on so that you can kind of show it off like it were a piece of, like it is the piece of artwork that it is. I'm feeling like I have a lot of blank space, and like I said before, I love filling space. So I might add some more lines kind of mirroring the O line, just to kind of give it some more interest. You can switch to a different tip if you'd like, if you want a finer tip. You can use the cone tip or the universal tip. Just adding some extra fun. Kind of showing off some of the lines of my wooden slice. And if you have any questions, now would be a great time if you want to throw some questions in chat. It can be about this or it can be about other wood burning projects, and I'd be happy to help you. And don't forget to hashtag your picture so I can see it. Adding more dots. So some of our cities with in-store classes, if you're in the DFW area, Dallas-Fort Worth, which is where I am, we have about 15 stores that have classes in the classroom again. We have classes in Cleveland, we have classes in Austin, in Houston. We have classes in, well, my sweet dog is having a bad dream. We have classes in several different places. You can go to michaels.com. I'll put it in the chat. I'll try not to burn myself. michaels.com/in-store classes. And there's a location setting, and if you put your location in, you can see if anywhere around you has any of the in-store classes. I would love for you to come to those. Yay, Linda has solved the problem. Haha, yeah, and don't worry, I swear that does happen. You think you have everything plugged in and turned on and something happens. So I'm pretty happy with this piece. Again, I'd love to see what yours is. So please hashtag that at Michael's classes or Make It with Michaels. Oh, I don't know about the heat transfer stuff. I like the red too. I'm pretty happy with that. So if you want to leave it, you can leave it. If you want to paint it, you can paint it. Or if you want to use marker to add some bright color to it, you can. So there's lots of options. And I'm just about wrapping up. So if you have more questions, I'd love to help you. Otherwise, I hope that you're having fun burning. And those of you who did this for the first time, I hope that it was a success and that you feel confident and ready to try it again. The more you do, just like anything, the more you do, the better you're going to get. The wood type, this is, what is it? The Basswood. I've never said that out loud. And this is really good because it's nice and smooth and even. An old cutting board, yes. Your tool might kind of jump a little bit, but that's okay. Like I said before, you don't want to use something with, I don't know if you want this turned over or the other one. Oh no. Pine would smell interesting as you burn it, but yes, you could, as long as it doesn't have any chemicals on it or any treatment to it, all of that is fine. The transfer paper, if you don't have transfer paper, another option I think I have handy is to use your pencil and color on the back of your design. And then you can turn it over and you can transfer that pencil that you just sketched on the back by using that light touch, or that, actually you're going to need a little bit of a harder touch on that one to transfer that pencil line. So if you don't have graphite paper, you can easily make your own transfer paper using the side of your pencil and just covering the back of the design and then flipping it over. So this class link will be up. You'll be able to watch this again. So if you needed to see the beginning, I am really happy that you came. I hope that you had a great time, and we look forward to seeing what you made. So thanks for coming.